Hey gang, it's Czar. Hope all is well. It's 5:52 a.m. for me here in the New York zone. Getting a rejection and double top on the 10-minute chart at the zones we drew this morning. We did that live on the air, and you get the videos there on YouTube to watch me take this naked chart, draw out these zones, and then watch as prices react at them as they typically do. And we're seeing now a little bit of a pullback on the 1-minute chart here, as prices have again tapped that area of prior rejection. I'm just going to remove this circle. I sent that to our Telegram group to say, look guys, I'm watching this area here. We may get an entry, and just giving them the heads up ahead of time. Feel free to come and join us over at Zerillion Trading and Telegram. You can join the fun as well. Great group, just a wonderful group. We're only about 2.5 weeks old now, and already nearly 100 members. 92, I believe, this morning. Just incredible. All right, just watching this now. We can watch this real time together. See if anything pans out. Really became quite sluggish in this zone, even though it looks like a nice clean move. It's kind of a grinding move, to be quite frank, and it's kind of been the feedback in our group. It's like nothing. This is only an 18-point move. Now, under normal market circumstances, 18 points is a very nice move in the Nasdaq. But lately, I mean, our opening candles on the U.S. have been 70 points. I mean, this is 45 points here just on London. Of course, the real range expansion typically comes in New York for the Nasdaq. Here we are in the London session, UK, Europe session, trading a U.S. index, but you get the idea. We're watching that very closely. Now, just in our group asking to share some indicators, and obviously we're very happy to do that. I'll be sending that off. I may pause this recording every once in a while if I think it's kind of dead air, so that you can kind of cut out just kind of sitting and watching, and then when something relevant happens or pertinent, I will click back on and we'll talk about it. Okay? Hope that works for you. It'll save you some time as well. I'm trying to really optimize how we use our time together here, and I'm thinking incorporating the pause button might be one of those things. I'm getting a push up now, though. I won't pause yet. We'll kind of watch this play out. Thank you for joining us today. The support has been amazing since we started about 3 weeks ago here, and I'm just honored and flattered that so many people are interested in what we're doing here. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel if you're watching this. Now, people always say, hit the notification bell so you get that thing. Well, we do post 3, 4, sometimes even 5 videos a day. And so if you hit that bell, of course, you're going to get notified, and that will be a cool thing for you to do if you want to keep up on what we're doing here on a more kind of real-time basis. Share the channel too with your friends. Obviously, we'd appreciate that. But traders, I mean, I don't think non-traders would be interested in the channel, but I'll leave that with you. I may click pause here for a bit and just wait for this thing to play. Okay, I'm back. I'm just getting a little bit of a push-up, or we're getting a little bit of a push-up here now. And I just want to come back and show you this. So when I'm scrolling over, whenever we get close to a new zone, I always go over and double-check to the left and make sure that I've drawn that zone properly, that there's nothing impeding the advancement of prices if, in fact, they continue up into that zone. And I see here that there are some actually very significant wick downs, right? Topping tails here. This one here was a very acute rejection on the 10-minute chart. And so that does matter. And so what I'll do here is just put a line right about there, which encompasses this and all of these, in order to make sure that I'm understanding what's going on here in the real time. Come back to where we are now. Watch for this push up. And just be cognizant here that if we're seeing another rejection, prices may struggle, especially since we're now 6:02 a.m. New York time. That means we are 3 hours already into London, right? 3 hours into London. Pardon me, we are 2 hours into London because the clocks have gone back in London, but not here in New York. So this is a very interesting week, a very unique week in the year, where the times are not aligned as they typically are. So people get really messed up, evidently, including myself. But bottom line is that we're significantly into the London session here this morning. Is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Yeah, we're 2 hours in. Those being 10-minute candles, and why I counted out those 2 hours. So I'm going to pause you again. We're rejecting, still in this zone, and we'll see what happens. I'll come back on if anything relevant starts to unfold here. All right. It's based on what I'm seeing here. Buy stop order above this wick. I won't always take this kind of a trade, but I am today. For 14 points, potentially. I'm in. Watching closely now. There's this resistance. If we can break through, there will be some stops above here that would likely give us a little bit of a boost to take us a bit higher here. We'll see. That's at 91, so we're at my own platform here, making sure I can participate in this with you. High chance of being stopped out. You'll hear me say that a lot. I'm also telling my brain, high chance you'll be stopped out. You got to be okay with that. Managing emotions. We've had a very high win rate of late. Not always the case, but we've had a high win rate of late, and I'm due for that to change here and take a loss. This could be it right here, guys. The flip. Let's see. Just a routine expense. I'm okay with it. This is a business. All businesses have expenses. And the way the market issues its routine expenses is through losses. Has to happen. The coin sometimes lands on tails. I'm always calling for heads, by the way, just so you know my frame. I flip a coin, I'm calling for heads. I have a long-term edge, which weights the coin slightly towards heads, that's all. I also seek to win more when the coin lands on heads. I seek to lose less when the coin lands on tails, and I seek for the coin to land on heads slightly more than it does on tails, hence the weighting of the coin. And the weighting comes from your edge, from a method, from using things like zones and reversals and entry timing and exit timing and managing stops and things of that nature. That's all part of the edge equation. Very sluggish now, this market. All right, that'll be a small loss of 9 points. It's going to flip here. For the opportunity at 14 points, right? In this case, it's not a 2-to-1 or anything. It's not even a 1.5. We're getting there. That's about a 1.5. 1.56 actually. Let's see if we can stay alive in this thing here. This thing could flip. Well, this is what's known as a sluggish market. Really not much going on. Now you will notice how price is rejected at that line, right? That horizontal blue line. Remember, that's the one we added after the fact, when we just came here to confirm that we were doing the right thing in terms of freedom of movement. And we noticed this, right? And then drew that line in there and said, just we got to be aware that that is there. Possibly, and I'm just going to be quite honest with myself here and transparent, possibly a reason not to take that trade unless prices close convincingly above that line. And so I'm having a little bit of, I wouldn't call it regret, but I'm just rethinking things here and say, next time maybe what I will do is not take that when those rejections were very, very acute and very valid in the Asian session of yesterday. Not today's Asian, but yesterday's Asian. Those are real forces. And so, as we get stopped out here, that will become very clear to me. If it blew through, I'd be going, well, that was a good, that was a smart move. So this is the kind of delicate emotional dance that we do as the market does its dance with us as traders. We do an internal dance with emotions and impulses, and always trying to reconcile what we just did, positive or negative. But certainly rejecting again. We've had these rejections all along here today. And so there are forces that are coming in at this area for whatever reason. We don't have to know why. But there are selling forces, or the cessation of buying interest at this level. And it takes either, by the way. It could be a combination of the two. It usually is. That will cause this kind of rejection and resistance to prices moving up. This was an aggressive entry. I need to be clear with myself here. This was an aggressive entry, not waiting for that 10-minute to close into that zone. I think I might have jumped the gun on this one, looking for something this morning because it's been so quiet. And so I'm going to admit that to myself. I'm going to admit that to you now that I'm seeing this and really digging deep and thinking about my motivations here. If I get lucky on this and it pans out, that's great. But it won't teach me a valuable lesson. The valuable lesson will come from being stopped out on this trade. I should have taken that line more seriously. I found it, I marked it, I talked about it, not only to myself but to you, and I still took a trade down here below it without a candle closing convincingly in the range. And I could get out here, break even, and just save the day. Since I shouldn't even be in this, that might be the smart thing to do. Now we've had these two white candles here on the 1 minute, kind of saying, you might have a chance here. You know what I'm going to do? Because I should never have been in this trade, to be honest. I'm going to move this to break even right there. Let me just do it in my own account too. At break even, very high chance of being stopped out as this wicks down, and I'm okay with that because I shouldn't be in it. Should not be in this trade. That's the truth. I'm seeing it now. I'm feeling it. And that, guys, is the real game of trading. It's that game you play inside your head. It's managing those impulses. It's doing the right thing in the face of temptation. Welcome to the real game. When a trader can master his inner voices and those inner impulses, then great things happen. Here's what I'm going to do. Bring in the target to the top of that wick. That's the trail that's already been blazed. And if I get the chance to get out, I'm just going to take it. And I'm out. That's the real game. 8.5 points. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you learned a lesson here. I shouldn't have made money on that trade. I'm grateful that I did, but it didn't teach me a lesson. I marked off something here. I realized something here, and I took an aggressive entry. And I happened to make money on it. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you get the chance to see this and think about a few things. We'll see you later in New York live. Take care.